I'm just sitting here wondering to myself. I haven't been on YouTube for quite a bit since the Christmas lark had started, and I thought, well, it's about time I actually said hello to you lot. You know what I mean? I'm still here. Um, the truth of the matter is that one, I'm still on holiday. First, at the end of the day, I'm still on holiday. So I figured, well, you can't really do a driving job, driving video, if I'm not driving. So I can't, can I? So just sitting here, isn't Barney's always the one who's first, as always? Now, just contemplating on what to do. I mean, I'm sitting here. I am bored out my brain. Honestly, I really am bored out my brain. I was going to stick it on you now and have a play with that, but I thought, well, I've not done this YouTube live thing before, so let's give that a shot. Being as though you lot actually got more chances of being on YouTube, so here we are. We're here, aren't we? How's your Christmas been, anybody? Anybody got any stories to tell? Just type a quick little thing on the bottom there and let me know what you've been up to. Me personally, right, not much fun for me, no. I don't know, I don't know what it is. I find it difficult to try and figure out or even understand why, when it comes to the Christmas time, right, I have this overwhelming sense of dread. I can laugh about it because I know it's up here and it's nowhere else realistically. It's just one of those stupid things that you get. I'll have to put my glasses on because I can't read that. What's that say? Feet up. I have. How many? Hang on, I'll whack the camera. Oh, there it goes. Ta-da. See you later. Put my feet up. See, just chilling out. And but the thing is, right, I mean, I went out for that New Year's thing. You celebrate, you have the... And I went there, and I mean, my sister bought me a ticket to go. And realistically, and I don't really want to hurt their feelings either, but I just didn't really want to be there, but I felt obligated. I mean, I live on my own. I've got nobody else to go with, and I go there, and it's like, I just wasn't fucking feeling it at all. It was doing my shitting, I tell you, honestly. But I got back and went to bed, and then woke up the next day, and that was all right, I'm just sitting here, chilling out, minding my own business, watching a bit of crap on the TV, because there's nothing but crap on the TV, you know what I mean? And, like I tweeted while I was at the New Year's thing. Evening, dude. I'm all right, Mickey. Out. I'll have to lean forward because it's all the way down there. I need fucking binoculars to see that lot down there. I mean, it's all the way over there. I mean, I am a bit far away from it, to be fair, but hey ho. Hello, yes, I'm here. Hang on. Right. If I pull that a bit further forward, I might be able to catch what's on the bottom of the screen. I've got it all set up on my iPad. Your what needs to a good dust? My mat needs a good dusting. Dude, the whole house needs dusting. I mean, the idea of having these couple of weeks off was to actually go off and do some serious tidying up. I spent about X amount of time in my bedroom hoovering it up and all that sort of shit, and I took my curtains down and give them a wash. I mean, they thought it was Christmas that day when I did that, for crying out loud. They haven't been touched for, well, I have no idea. I think it was back in 1998, I think, but who's counting? Anyway, so I did all that, and it was very fresh in there, to be fair. It was quite cool actually. Dusted it all off, hoovered it all up, and just the bedroom alone, right? The I know I shouldn't really be admitting this because this means I'm a bit of a scruffy twat, but the Hoover's like full. It's like full of crap and dust and shit and rubbish. But hey, whatever. I don't care. At the end of the day, I just thought I'd just have a go, and I did it, and I've done that, and now I'm, chilling out again. But that was the other day. I mean, I've been sitting here watching a bit of crap on the TV, as like I said, and then I'm like, I ought to attack the kitchen as well, hadn't I? So I've had a preliminary, you know, yeah, I can't be bothered. So then I'm playing on me drum pad machine on this thing, but obviously I can't there. Who's that behind you? Nobody, dude. I mean, don't forget the camera's seeing while he's behind me. There's nothing there, so. So I was making up a few tunes on the old thingamajiggy, whatchamacallit, and I thought, stuff it, I'm going to talk to you a lot. See what else is happening in the world. See what the year 2018 is going to bring us. What do you reckon? Another spoonful of shit? The same as 2017? More than likely. Like I was saying earlier when I tweeted, let me just use the right ones. Hold the phone. I'll put this on while I was out. If I can find it. I might be able to. Right, one of my tweets was, okay, it's 2018, what shit is in store for us this year? You know what I mean? It's an honest tweet, really. I mean, it's straight to the point. Because if you think about it, right, 2017 was no better than 2016. I mean, 2015 wasn't too bad, but 2016 and 17, oh, well. And another tweet here I gave out, which was the other day, was I put as one shit year ends, another shit starts. I mean, you can see the kind of attitude that I had as the new year was coming in, like, you know what I mean? It just got me down. And I'm watching all the other people out there that are all celebrating and doing other thing, which I have done in the past, don't get me wrong. But the truth of the matter is, as the years go on, I've just come to the point where I'm thinking, well, I've got no reason to celebrate. I suppose if you want to be fucking cynical, like I'm sure somebody might be out there, you're alive, are you, Jace? You're healthy. Well, I don't know about that so much. Sometimes I do wonder. Especially the way I feel just lately. But anyway, that's another topic altogether. Anyway, I thought, if I'm going to be sat here just doing nothing, I just don't know what to do. I haven't got a clue. And I'm bored. I mean, if it was, I could go out for a run, I suppose. But the problem is, my legs won't let me do that. No. I mentioned run, and I have pains run down. I think it might be like sympathetic pains running down my legs, you know what I mean? And my neck starts to hurt. Anxiety. Oh, dear me. Honestly. I picked up this book. It was on the shelf upstairs, and I was going to have a read of that, but I thought, well, you know what? I'm already reading the fucking book anyway, so I can't be, but I might do it later. I might have a look at it, see what's what on it. Seems interesting, the first bit I've read, but I even had an idea that I might even do what you call one of those storytelling book, channel, and just read to you, you know. And I thought, no, I can't read that well anyway, not out loud anyway. In the head I can, but can't but other than that, life is just as dull and boring as it was last year. Still the same, moping, miserable. Anybody else feeling the same? Are you feeling happy and joyful that it's the new year and all that sort of shite? I know I ain't. Still the same crap. Right, whatever. I think if you noticed I don't get that. What was that all about? If you notice the notice, the notice, the notice. Same old shit. It is the same old shit, unfortunately. If you got someone to share the same old shit, then that's, I suppose, it takes away the monotony of it. But yeah, I ain't. I think that's what gets me the most, you know. Realistically, is the fact that, yeah, I'll give you for instance, right? This is what you get. Absolutely fuck all. Silence. Nothing but silence. Do you know there's actually been times to the weekends that I've actually not spoke a word? That's the reason why I decided to do that fucking smule sing shit, like, you know what I mean? But guess what? My vocal cords decided to go, no, not having any of that anymore. So, of course, can't do that no more, can I? So I might as well flap my gums to something, if it's to myself. I've overindulged over the Christmas. I've done my fair share of scoffing. I think I'm up to about 14 stone and 11. I think I'm on something around about that. See, when the new year comes and you try to make any kind of resolution, if you're going to do it, well, it don't really work unless you can do it the following day after New, you know, like bump, that's it, New Year's Day, it starts. But realistically, you don't, do you? Because most people wait till they get back to work, you know, and do all that sort of shit. But I even give up on that rubbish, New Year's resolutions. One thing I'm going to try and do, though, is try and keep the old weight down. I think that's got to be done. I know that for a fact. But other than that, I'm bored. Absolutely bored. No, I don't want to go back to work. That's before you even start. I just don't want to do that. No. There's, all it's done for the last, well, since the new year and before, it's done nothing but piss down and rain. I don't get it. I know it's the season here for like this kind of weather, but it does get on your tits every day. Drip, 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 drop, 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 rain, rain, rain. It's just a never ending source of misery. Oh dear. Are you enjoying the show? Oh dear me. I've been reading the some of the news stuff that was out there, and there is some comical things on the news. It just made me laugh about the fact that you got protests in Iran. You've got frigging North Korea's doing something stupid, and I don't understand it. I mean, is it me, or is it still, you know, heading towards this precipice of disaster? It frightens me, that does, in a sense, because you think to yourself, all this crap that goes on in the world that I don't really pay that much attention to, but when I do see these snippets, I'm like, really? You really want to be saying that you've got the button on your fucking desk? I mean, that's just one of those things that, you know, it's a definite head scratcher. Like, that dude is not fucking firing all cylinders. No way. But, you know, you read other things that are out there, and it still makes you wonder. I feel like, yeah, it just feels like something's off. Something ain't quite right. My sister lives by you. Mom by dog. Manny's dog pub. Hi, Jace. Nice to see you. How you doing, dude? Rob, I'm in one of those sort of like moaning moods today. I feel like I'm going to just sit here and whinge. I just want to whinge about anything, you know, anything in particular. Yeah, I don't whinge about the weather, you know. Whinge about the fact I'm sat here on my fucking own and there's nothing else to do. So I'll just whinge to you lot. I'm good at whinging. Yeah. What we got here? Does that work? Share. Yeah. Is that all it does? I've not used it before, you see. This is all new to me. I'm just playing it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Do you know the estate? Which estate's that, dude? Oh, I'm up in Great Whirley, so there's loads of areas. Bradley, how would you do? Yes, I'm still here. Hello, hello, hello. I was wondering what life is giving me out there these days, and if there's anybody out there that's I miss that one. Just go shopping, my friend. It's well, yeah, I know that. Right, going shopping is all well and good. There's only one problem with that. You need money to go shopping. I've run out. I am seriously broke, unless I win the lottery, which is possible. Yeah, I have done it. I've got myself ready to go like with the old lottery, so hopefully. But you know the chances of winning a lottery are about as much chance of getting bitten on the big toe by a piranha standing in a paddling pool. My camel has got the hump. Your camel's got the hump. My camel's got toes. But, you know, I've been flicking through the old Fizzog book and seeing if there's anything interesting on there. And there's the usual stuff I keep looking at. By Bloxfish North Station, mate. I'm about, say, 4.5 miles away from there, possibly. Something like that. Not far, it's on the road. Yeah. There's not much on the old Facebook, is it really? The thing is, when you use your phone for the Facebook, I always find it a little bit, because I'm so used to using the tablet on for the old Facebook, it does a better spectrum of it all, and you see what's on there, whereas this doesn't. Yeah. Oh well. Is there anything on Twitter? Let's have a look at Twitter. See what we've got on here. Home page. No, usual crap. I only tend to get stuff that people send me out when because they're following me. No, because I'm following them, should I say? And I get those types of tweets. You know what I mean? So, Instagram. I took a couple of pictures. You know me, Instagram. How are they doing? I tend to forget to check. Because I'm a gumper. Well, Jessie J is looking quite fine with her long hair. Not that she's got long hair, she's just got extensions in, but we'll give her a like because it's Jessie J, you know what I mean? Everyone likes that. I'm not impressed with the balding, mind you, but hey, each their own. And that might seem a bit soft, and please don't fucking hate me for it, but I'm not that keen on women with short hair. I mean, like I say, it's entirely up to them, but it's not for me. Yeah. Oh, crap. Hang on. Cancel. What's that? What have we got here? Oh, it's my supercar shit. Yeah. Oh, not much happening there, as you do. Oh dear. I've been looking on it on eBay just to purchase something that's a bit like that, right? That's a magnifying glass, that is. It sits on the phone, but the only problem is, right, because with my phone I have it in a case all the time. It's like the same as what that's got. It's got a case around it, and it sort of encompasses the whole thing, like, you know. It's when I first had it, how's your diet going? Wank, my diet's going complete shocking shit. Um, when I first bought it, I think it spent a couple of days in a sock. You know what I mean, just to keep it from whatever. And then I ordered these, and I bought myself two of these cases just in case one wears out. But this one has lasted the whole pretty much 2 years I've had the phone. So when I wanted one of those magnifying glasses to put on this, right, it means you have to take it out, and I'm a bit, because I've seen some of these telescopic lenses you can buy for the phone and attach it and do that and the other and what have you. The idea is because I want to take photographs of the moon. Now, what I have got, unfortunately, I have to run off in here. See, as most people know, I have got this one, right, which is my normal Canon camera, right. The second camera I use for doing my videos and what have you. After my phone, which was I think it was a Google Nexus I used originally. Anyway, which it zooms quite well and it's not too bad, and I've done some quite nice pictures of the moon. But I want to get right on it. You know what I mean? I want to get up there so I can actually see some serious detail, because when I go onto YouTube like I normally do, I find that there's lots of shows out there, channels, should I say, that have highlighted some spectacular stuff on there. Have you seen those USB, boy? Yeah, I have. I've seen them. And there's one guy on there who's got some absolute stunning images. But again, I just don't know. I think it's the type of thing where you're going to have to spend a frigging fortune on a decent telescope, which is what I don't get, because there's bound to be people out there, right, that have got telescopes, who've got some serious, magnifying power, and yet, why is it you don't tend to get those incredible details of the moon's surface? You know what I mean? I don't get it. I really don't get it. It baffles me. It really does. But I've even looked into getting maybe a telescope as well, because you can get a telescope with a camera attachment, so you can stick your camera and away you go. But it wouldn't work for that, because that's a compact, because the lens will attracts and does all that shit. So I don't know. Maybe. But it does make you wonder, especially with the fact that there's a couple of private companies that are off on the moon quest, aren't they? Yeah, they're out there. So they're here too. Alien infestation on the moon. Oh, great. See what I mean? These are the kind of channels that are on the old YouTube. It does crack me up, it does. Anything else interesting? This is my recommended list. I can't show you obviously, but what we got? Walk around. I will do the Monday thing, but it's chucking it down a rain, so it's pretty pointless in a minute. And it just faded away. Couldn't read it. Sorry, dude. Your message just completely disappears. Doesn't last very long for some reason. Anonymous, this will change everything you know. I love that idea. That's weird. I'm trying to find out if there's anything on here that's worth talking about, maybe. Can you spot a fake Rolex watchfinder? Yeah, I can spot a fake Rolex anywhere in the world, because when they say Rolex 30 quid, I'm like, that's got to be fake. It's pretty freaking obvious, though, isn't it? You think about it. It's not going to be real if it's going to be 30 quid. Talking about fake shit, I was what on the old Facebook. They got that shop, ain't they? Has anybody used that shop yet? No, because that's where there's a shitload of these Rolexes on there. There's absolute boatloads of them. I'm like, 30 quid for a Rolex? Really? It's not a Rolex, dude. Why don't they actually just state replica Rolex? And then I've done it. You know, that's it. I've done. I mean, anybody with a bit of common sense knows that it's not going to be real. Not at all. Building. So I got my Bluetooth speaker over there plugged in on my phone because I was listening to some music. Banned TV episodes you won't be seen anytime soon. That's because they're out of date and no slot are fucking full of mamby-pamby fucking do-gooders, aren't we? That's what it is. They just can't. You can't have a sense of humour in this world, today's world. Like, you know, I mean, this day and age, it just doesn't work. You can't. You got to be careful on what you say. You can't say things on your mind. You can't have an opinion, because if you do, and you say something that's wrong, and they'll go, "Oh, you can't do that. You hurt my feelings." I'm like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, shut up and go and grow a pair." You know what I mean? The untold truth of the Lost Boys. Why is there an untold truth of the Lost Boys? I mean, it's okay. Moon landing, hoax, final evidence. Oh, okay, there you go. You know, when they go on about this moon landing thing and they say that it was all hoax, it's all this and that and the other, right? I've got a theory, okay, and you'll love this theory. I think they did actually go to the moon, right? And I'll always say this, that I think they definitely went to the moon, but I believe that there's a possibility, however highly unlikely, that the images that are, some of the images were actually mocked to show people, because they couldn't really get any decent ones, you know what I mean? So all the really high quality ones, they're all done, you know, them are the fake ones. And then there's some of the ones that aren't quite as look as really high quality and look really, you know, well, that, yeah. So they've mixed them in between, like, you know, so they have some real ones and some fake ones and some real, and that to me is how I think they've done it. You know what I mean? I still believe they went up there. Don't care what anybody says. I still believe they went up there. However anybody else goes on about it, I don't care. Oh, 5 mysterious videos that will make you believe in the... Believe in the what? Paranormal? Do you believe in ghosties? I don't. Nope, not at all. No, I find it fascinating, this. You see all this wonderful stuff. But, yeah. I think the one of the best ones that I found... What's that say there? Message reattached. Is that what I said? I don't get that. It doesn't show up on here for some reason. I don't know why. I'd have thought it would have done, but it doesn't. Oh, we are. Hang on. Hold the phone. Oh, that's cool. What have we got here? I can read your messages. They're still here. Hang on then. Now this is in there. Got that one. Bear with me a second. I've just managed to get all the messages back up on the screen. That was quite cool. I just touched it for someone anyway. Message retracted. All right then. You can retract the message, mate. I don't mind. It's not a bother. How's the American? How's the American peace? Actually, I don't know, because I barely get a chance to speak. Well, I haven't spoken for quite a while, and the messages have seemed to have they're getting a bit thin. Box which says yes, Mr. Nagnon, I'm all right, I suppose. I'll do. There's your dog going. Crap. Aston Villa 5, Bristol 0, Birmingham City 20 points. What the fuck's that all about? I'm not a football fan, dude, so I have no idea what that means. I'm in a bit like a pedal bin. Yeah, I think I'm about the same. Well, I'll tell you what, when it comes to food, I am a bit of a fussy eater, to be fair. I had myself sausage and mash, stuck it in the oven like and warmed it up as you do. And I bit into the sausage and tell you what, few couple of gristly bits and I'm like, "Ugh," so it's gone, like, you know what I mean? So that ruined that experience. Sausage and mash down the fucking tin. Magnifying glass, yes I know. I'm trying to find that message that disappeared earlier. If I feel in the moaning mood, I always whiz down the chippy, large chicken and chips. Do you know what? Right, I understand that, and I get your point there. Large chicken and chips, and it does cheer up. The problem is, I had that was it a couple of weeks back now before obviously all the Christmas shit started. I ended up having to have 2 days off because I'm not under pursuit. Yeah, I'm not sure 100%. Whether I end up with food poisoning or not, I don't know. I might have been, and might have, but it was rather weird that after eating that, even though I did feel it naff beforehand, mind you, but well, each their own. My wife loved her balaclava and gobstopper I got her for Christmas. Enjoy. Craziest, funniest experience as a Class 1 driver. The craziest and funniest experience as a Class 1 driver. Well, crazy experience is watching other drivers doing daft shit. That's definitely the crazy thing, because not only, I'm not going to just attack car drivers, because it also goes across the board. Bus drivers, van drivers, car drivers, HGV drivers, when they take stupid and crazy chances, it's like you want to close your eyes and hold your breath, like it's like fuck. But funny moments, well, funny moments for me is always going to be when it comes down to reversing. What truck would you choose? What truck would I choose? None. None at all. No, none whatsoever. And I know it's a sad thing to say. I'm going to have to stop, catch up with you sometime. Yeah, I hope you do, mate. I haven't. It'd be nice to have a chat. The reason why I would not choose any kind of truck is because I wouldn't want to do it. If I had the money and it was no option, do you think I'd be driving? What the fuck? I'd find something much better to do. If the money was no object, I'd have myself some little, like a building somewhere where I could, what's it? 4D series. And I'd tat. I'd love to tat. See, I've got a fucking oodles amount of tools I've got, right? But I don't get a chance to use them. I took some pictures of me little bodge I did for my boots, because I got two pairs of duals. Now, yes, okay. I know it's a bit of a sad thing to admit, but I like wearing my dual boots, right? They're very comfortable, and I wear a pair for work, and I bought myself a second pair for just, going out in, because they're nice. They're a nice colour. I like that sandy light colour. I don't know why. Have yourself a little piece as well. Yeah, will do. Golden tricycle with a trailer hitched. Okay, if you like. I always like the idea of if you have the option to do something other than what you have to do. I think I'd rather do something I'd like to do. People always ask me as well, would you recommend driving? And I'll go, well, to be honest with you, in this day and age, no. And I will be adamant about that. No, not at all. Unless something seriously happens with the industry, there's no way I would recommend. And the problem is is going to get worse because more and more drivers are retiring, quitting. Do you get lonely at times, mate? Lonely? Fucking lonely is the biggest killer in the world, next to any other diseases out there. Yes, I do, unfortunately. Extremely lonely. There's not a lot I can do about that. Well, unfortunately, there's nowhere to go. Got no money to go with anyway. Got no one to go with. What do you call a fly with no wings? A walk. Does make sense, indeed. Or you could actually call it buggered. How about that? That's one answer you can have for that one, really. No, it's you'd think to yourself that when I do my usual stuff, and I try to put on a brave face sometimes, but there's times where I just you have to have a reality check. You know what I mean? And see, what was that? Cheers for that, dude. But he's the kicker, right? When it comes to beer and stuff like that, I'm not a drinker. I really ain't. It's the New Year's thingamajig. I was drinking J2O because I just couldn't be arsed with it. I wasn't in the mood for drinking. I just find that side of the thing is just a bit. I had to go to class 2, and even the school you get pointers. I know it's a bit naff, isn't it? It is. I know it's a sad state of affairs because if you go back, right, so let's say you go back 30 years or even 40 years in the driving, the general origin industry. Not yet. The weather's been a bit shit up here. It's been nothing but chucking in rain, so no. You could actually call driving back then, as I know, because I've only been in it for 15 years, so I'm only giving you the spiel that the older drivers have given me back in the day. And it was a completely different animal. I mean, my brother-in-law has been in that side of it because he's been driving for the better part of 25 years, I think he's been doing it for. Because he passed his test when he was 21. Like, you should be, eligible for driving at 21, not fucking 18. That's another sore subject, but hey, whatever. But to think that this day, right, this is what happens, right? Is this what we're going to have now? Is it nothing but jokes today? What do you call a man with an elephant on his head? Yeah, you would actually, wouldn't you? As a matter of fact, I think I'd call a coroner because he'd be dead. You sort of like, when you want to do a job, but do you want to do a job where you're constantly being fucking bitched at, right? And you've always, you've got to do this, you've got to do, can you just that, you've got to take that there, you've got to deliver that there, you've got to that, one more, do this, do that. And it's just not something that realistic. And obviously you have also the hassle from the collecting point, you have the hassle from the delivery point. Not always, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not going to be for all companies out there. With specific jobs that are just the finite amount of companies that do a specific job, they can call the shots in a sense. They can realistically go out there and say, right, I'll have this much. RJ Strucker keeping seeing out. Not yet, it'll be next week. I'm out and about next week. Well, I won't be out and about now. I'll be going backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, back in the same old rubbish like I normally do. But it's like, if you're leaving school, right, for argument's sake, and you pass all your exams, right, or you get some really high grades in them, but at least if you pass your exams, right, do you really want to be sat behind a steering wheel, stuck in traffic most of the time, having idiots cutting you up, risking your life for what? Mediocre pay? No respect whatsoever? And the reason why you get no respect is because nobody else respects themselves realistically as they're on the road. You get to some places and they feed you with bullshit. They lie to you when you'll go somewhere and you're expected to collect something, and you'll give them the collection number or what have you, and they'll turn around and they'll go, oh, it's not ready. When you've been told, well, I've been told it's ready now. Well, mate, now you're early. You ain't ready till blah blah blah. You can then phone up obviously and get it changed, but sometimes that don't happen, and that has been like that quite a lot for me. Of late, because of what I do at the moment, not so much. But back in the day, I've been stuck 4.5 hours away from fucking home as a dayman, and given a job reference number and handed that in, and now my lad ain't ready for blah blah blah. Ain't no good to me. Phone up, you got to wait for it. Yeah, not really the most encouraging fucking answer you want, you know what I mean? And those are the sort of things that happen. I know general haulage, when you do something like that, you've got to weigh it out in a sense, but realistically, if you're going to do general haulage as a dayman, a bit like myself, with what I do, perfectly fine. Done. You know what I mean? If you're going out a bit further, I mean, it's like so you deliver, you collect, you come back, but it sort of spans the whole day. Great. But when you get given jobs that span the whole day and fucking then some, well, realistically, that's not a day job, is it? That's a tramper's job. So, and when the reality comes that you're sat there now behind the wheel, sending yourself off up there, but you're expecting to get back at a reasonable time to go home, and by the time you roll up back in the yard, it could be anything from fucking 8-9 o'clock at night, depending on what time you start in the morning. Or if you're unfortunate and you do start early, you're fucked. You know what I mean? Because unfortunately, the law then is against you. Which I always think that's a bit of a fucking shady area, when you think of it. Can you imagine, right, if you turn around and says, you went home, right, you'd broke the law by overdriving, you'd done over your 15-hour day, right, and you get back and Mr. Vouse was like, as he knocks on your driver's door one day, says, can we check all your shit? And he come back, what's this here that you've done 5.5 hours driving and you've done 17 hours? And I'll go, I had to get home, dude. You're not allowed to get home. Why? I didn't sign up to fucking have nights out. Them are the idiots who put me in that position. I think personally it should be well, I'm being held against my will. You know what I mean? What about my fucking civil rights? I don't want to be in this fucking cab all night. I didn't ask for it. Right? If I asked for it, I'd be paid for it. But if I don't want to be doing it, why the fuck should I have to? Well, unfortunately, the law's against you when it comes to that sort of shit. You don't realise that, do you? You know what I mean? But I want to go home. Tough shit. You've run out of driving hours, or you've run out of fucking working time directive hours. You're screwed. You have got to fucking stop. Done. End of. There's only one thing you can do. One thing. if you got a missus or your friend or somebody who lives close enough, you can ask them to come and grab you, right? You can go with the keys and go, well, ta-da, going home. Fuck yeah, keep the fucking truck. You know, you can always do that sort of shit. Oh dear, but yeah, that's the sort of things that you've got to be aware of when you go into the industry of driving a truck. It's great. Oh yes, it's wonderful. Oh, I love this. It's fucking fun. Trust me, it wears off very quickly. Yeah, it really does. Would you recommend driving? Yeah. I think I'd rather recommend fucking toothache, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, that's about as much as I'd be. coming from a driver. But I mean, I am in a sense one of those type of peoples that I'm not a fan of work anyway. I never have been. But hey, whatever. Who cares? It don't matter, does it? I'm only being honest. Very nice indeed. I like you better. It does make you wonder that, doesn't it? I mean, when they've been crying out there because obviously with Christmas and what have you, there was worry just in that people wasn't going to get their presents on time and shit like that. I'm like, it's your own fucking fault. You're the fuckers who created this mess in the first place. The industry's having fucking been cutthroat as it is because you got multiple of general haulage companies out there scrapping for the same fucking work, undercutting shit. Drivers are the ones that get the rough end of the stick. The shitty end, that one that stinks. Oh, yeah, that one. Will it change when we leave? When we leave Brexit? I mean, well, who's to say? I mean, I don't know so much, to be fair, because it's one of those type of things that realistically needs to be bottled boy. I ain't. It's in reverse. Like I say, Thor. Look, it's back to front. Hello. But when you think about it, the only way it can be fixed is if they just do it all again. You know what I mean? Just take down what they've got and rebuild it. I don't know how they're going to do that, mind you. I really don't. But if it changed the Brexit, I don't know. I really don't know. I'd like to think so, to be fair. I would like to think so. I mean, I don't know why you can't have it set up as a decent, either a day job, night job, or for those individuals who want to go out all week, so be it. But I don't know. I mean, I know it can be difficult to organise that kind of thing, but if you've got that set up for your deliveries and your collections and whatever, you've got to have the full scope of your network of where you're going. You know what I mean? Not the driver itself, I want the company. They need to know what they're doing. It's never going to be perfect. That's a given, right? That's obvious. I mean, some dude will go off to collect something. You don't know what happens in that factory at whatever given time. They may have had a breakdown. The product might not be ready just yet. There's always those factors that go in. They don't happen all the time, though. That's the thing. Evening, you all right, dear? Would you like to be what's that say? I would like to be a night trucker. Was that trucker or trunker? So I have my glasses on. I would like to be a night trunker. Yeah, you can do trunking. That's pretty much what I do at the moment. I go backwards and forwards from Cannock to Litchfield all day, every day. And I do get it broken up every now and again to do something different, just to kill the monotony of it all. It does send you up the wall, though. You know what I mean? If you, some people can cope with that. You know what I mean? Traversing the same stretch of road every single day. Some people are quite happy, and but me, it does wear me down. Fucking does. It wears me down. Summer chronic. I don't know. Happy New Year. You're right. Beza, is that right? Yeah. Well, you might have had a Happy New Year, not me. Nah, not yet. It's like I feel like I'm waiting for some. I don't know what the fuck I'm waiting for. What did that say? Did I miss that one? My dad drives a bulker. Yeah, specific job. And he got. I did say a name right. Okay. What's your dream job? My dream job, professional layabout. I could do that all day. Oh, fuck me, yeah. Profession. You see, the problem. All right, Mickey, you're back, are you? Well, you missed fuck all. Just me going on about the fact that driving is shit and the industry needs to be scrapped and start again. That's pretty much, that'll round it up for you. Now, dream job. Good grief, gee. To be honest with you, right, realistically, there's no job out there that would be a dream. Now, hobby, right, or a passion, if you get paid for those type of things, then that would be a dream job. I can give you, for instance, straight away. My brother, right, he's a teacher. He teaches drama and acting, all stage shit and all that. Like that's his main thing he does. Singer Jace. Not anymore. My vocal cords have died. It was shit years ago, mate, when I was driving trucks. It ain't changed. It's just gotten worse. Just the shit stinks even more now. Yeah, I don't know. Can you imagine having a job that, well, it wouldn't be a job though, would it? Because of what he does, my brother, because he's got his students and he teaches his acting and he's in his drama classes and he has got other curriculums he has to do as well, but that's his main one. Because it's for him, it's a passion of his, and he really enjoys it. He don't really work, and you'll get that from most people. When you have something like I don't know, let's say for argument's sake, you like baking cakes and shit like, and you really love making the cakes. You like to do the designs of them and all that sort of shit, and you make money off it, right? Well, you ain't working because it's something that you're passionate about and you enjoy. If you're a photographer or a painter or a DJ, you know what I mean? Those will pay a shitload of money if you do them right, but it's not a job, it's a hobby. But it pays your wages, you know what I mean? I've said it since I've left school, and I fucking tell you what, when I left school, right, this is how it was for me. I left school at 16, couldn't fucking wait to get out the shithole, right? Oh my God, I just couldn't wait. It was the biggest pile of cesspool rotten shit experience that I have ever had in my whole entire life. So I was just fucking adamant I was out. I wanted to go. I went every day, apart from there was 1 week when I just had enough of the bully, and I thought, no, I can't be doing that shit now. I've had enough of it. And I had a week off. I couldn't be asked again. I said, no, I'm not going. I'm fucking sick of it. I'm being picked on every fucking day. Don't want to go. My mum wasn't too impressed, and neither was my dad. But I said, look, I'm not doing it. I said, I'm stopping it out. I said, I can't be doing it no more. And we got that sorted out. But when I left school, I managed to get me maths. That's all I ended up with. But I got, I think I got a, I don't know if it was either an F or what's after F, the low, a low one after F, I don't know, but I got a U in French, I got a U in geography, even though I'm a fucking driver, I know. Sat nav, dude, sat nav. I got a U in science, I think we had, history, pretty much, and then U is ungradable apparently, that stands for. Because it was fucking shit, to be honest with you. It was boring. I'm absolutely boring. I've never known any kind of school curriculum back in the 70s and 80s when I was there. It was dire. I mean, fucking pathetic. To be honest with you, today, I mean, I bet I could teach fucking more shit than what they fucking taught me. Unbelievable. So I gets out, right, and my first job was that Young, Thick and Stupid. Now, if you're my age, you'll know what that is. YTS. Oh, man, the YTS. Right, you think if you haven't getting a job these days, you've never been on a YTS, mate. I'll tell you that now. That was another fucking catastrophe as well. What an absolute share of shit that was. Yes. Have you experienced the old YTS? Have you there, Beza? Young, Thick and fucking Stupid. Oh, my God. £29.50 is what I ended up with. That's what it was, £29.50. Here, look, see? He knows. £29.50, that's the one. Did you get a Lloyd's British by any chance? Because that's where I ended up, was Lloyd's British. And first of all, I tried the mechanic side of it, doing taking the engine apart. No, I didn't fucking like that at all. And the reason why I didn't like it, because when they put you on those placements where you go off and you work in the industry that you're trying to train for, I went to this garage which is at the top of Cannock. It's not there now more. I think it might be houses or something. But there used to be a Texaco garage, which was slap dab on the island where you got the old and the new Penkridge Road. Now, if you're back in the 80s, you'll probably remember that if you've ever been up that way. Well, I worked there when I was 16. And I remember doing a couple of jobs, trying to, learn how to put tyres on the fucking thing and fitting exhaust pipes and shit like that. That wasn't too bad. But when I was asked to take an engine apart, I'm like, what? Anyway, there I am. And they're giving me this job, right, to put a tyre on a specific wheel. Knowing full well that this was a special kind of job, like it wasn't just your normal steelies, this was an alloy, and I'd done a bit of damage on it. I think I'd done something because I didn't quite do it right, but I wasn't supervised, and then they start kicking a fuss, and that got cleared up as you do, and then there was an incident that I was adamant that I did not want to work in that industry ever again. The boss, the manager, right, had the lads in the office telling them that they've got to sell shock absorbers, right? Not, check shock absorbers to see if we could got any people that need to, have some replaced. They have got to sell shock absorbers. And of course, this old biddy comes up. And I think she came for a tyre change and what have you. So for a tyre change, it's unusual to stick it up on a fucking ramp. You know what I mean? So of course they put this car up on the ramp, up it goes. And one of the mechanics, well, actually no, he can't be called a mechanic, he's just a complete twat. Can of WD-40 and sprays all the inside of the fucking shock absorber. And then he chucks the can in the fucking bin somewhere, and he goes out to the old biddy, right? She must have been in her 60s then, or whatever it was, and says, "Excuse me, love, but we've just checked your car as we've been taking the wheel off to do your tyre, like, I'm thinking, yeah, up on a fucking ramp that you don't need to be, and we've noticed that your shock absorber's leaking." No, it's dripping with fucking WD-40 because you're a low-life sack of shit that wants fucking sacking on the spot. Of course, she ended up paying, I think it was about 120 quid for a set of fucking shock absorbers, what it was back then. And I'm like, no, I do not want... That's why I don't trust garages. And if ever I go to a garage and have something done, I'm fucking standing over them like as though, they've got an inspector on the shoulder, you know what I mean? Because I know what they're going to do and what they went there. No, there's no way they're doing that to me. Screw that shit. And for years, I was always dubious about garages after that fucking stunt. I thought, you low-life, miserable, fucking lousy person. And not just the so-called fucking tyre fitter. I'm on about the manager who encouraged that bollocks in the first place. And that was just disgusting. And as soft as it sounds, that shit still happens today. Yeah, fucking all these years later. It's amazing, isn't it, really? Well, 15 quid off coast. Hey, been there, mate, done that. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. But once I'd had that experience from the Lloyd's British, I went in there, says, I don't do this no more. I says, can I change to the other one? And I went to the welding. And we were doing MMA welding and what have you. And I really took to that. And now off we went. And when you go, yes, obviously I was a teenager. I was only 16. I think I might even come in 17 or something by that time. But when you pick a subject as welding, right, 306 place. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I understand. They never do they? They just use you for slave labour, really. But when I done the welding side of it, and they sent me off to a place to do welding, I think was it the first one or the second one? It could well have been the first job I was sent off to. Bearing in mind I'm trying to learn to weld, was a fucking plastic firm, right? I watch most of videos. Yeah, I know. I was just retracted that message of you. Oh, fair enough. So of course, going to a place that deals with plastic didn't really inspire me that much. But I don't know whether that was whether it was the first placement or the second placement. I was rag left, right, and centre. And I went to this other place then. I'm not 100% sure of its name now. I don't think it exists anymore. But it was run by this hyperactive fuckwit. And I remember this was an actual place that did welding. I did little tits and bits, like nothing, you know, there wasn't really much in there really. Basically what I was a brush and tea maker. That's pretty much what I was. I swept up and made tea, right? And this so-called boss, this hypochondriac, hyperactive, should I say, dipshit, was quite intimidating because he was taller than what I was, and I was only 16 at the time, and he was one of these types of people that had to have tea in a specific way. I'm like, what the fuck? And I remember I was doing a particular job, and I was standing on top of a bench, and I was with this, I think it was a pneumatic drill of some sort, and I unplugged it, and I reached in and just dropped it onto the bench, and he comes storming out, screaming nuts off at me, and he fucking scared the life out of me. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, there was one particular job that I'd been looking forward to do that was going to be given to me so I could weld it, right? And they'd arrived, and what they were, there was these concrete, I think, well, there was like a big bolt, like rebar, which had the big fuck off wing nut on it with these massive square washers. But the one end had to be welded on one big plate, had to be welded on the one, so then you have this thing. So I think it was submerged in concrete, then blah blah blah. And all the bits had turned up. I'm thinking, oh great, I've got this little job. I was so excited to have a go at doing some welding, like, you know. So then I'd asked when they came, says, right, can I get on this? Not yet. Says blah blah. Go into that, go and sweep this, go. I'm like, so that's what I ended up doing all day. Then the following day come along, and no, not yet. Do this, do that, yeah. And then this went on for pretty much all that week, right? And it come to Friday, and when I turned up, there was one of the obviously the fucking one of the employees was actually there. I went, well, come on, I can't do them now. What the? Oh, we've had to have a rush job. I'm thinking, you've had all fucking week to have asked you time and time again. And I thought, well, there's another waste of fucking time. I mean, what is the point in being put in placements from this YTS bullshit if all you're going to get is fucked around and never taught anything? The last placement I had, right, ended up being the best one, and that was Chassis Development Services in Bloxwich. And I think they're actually up around in Landywood now. Bill and George, they actually stepped out of their way and they taught me to do shit. And I learned a lot from them pair, because I learned how to do MIG welding and all sorts of rubbish. I even learned how to shoot an 100-hour shotgun at a bunch of fucking olives that was on the wall. Oh shit, fuck, they went everywhere. Because they was avid shooters, they were. They went clay pigeon shooting and what have you. So, and I had to go with them. Fuck me, that was a, yeah, I kicked like shit, that did. But they did teach me quite a lot there. And they never had me doing mundane rubbish. They always had me doing something that was of interest and of use, you know what I mean? So out of all the time that I spent in the YTS thing, right, there was literally, I think it was around about 6 months I actually learnt something, and it was from them guys, and then I progressed from there then. But I ended up quitting it because even that went that was went fraudulent in a sense, because I passed, and so did the rest of my class, passed our welding certificate, whatever it fucking was them days. NVQ, is it? I think it might have been, possibly. I don't fucking know. Whatever. Anyway, we passed it by doing nothing. We was all took into the class. There's a classroom, and the teacher coming. I think one of his supervisors came in, and they all said that to it, and they agreed that we all had to pass, right? Because none of us had passed anything, because it was making the place look so bad. And I'm like, well, it's even worse if this is the thing you're going to do by fraudulently, telling us lot that we've passed. We're getting certificates for not even doing the job because you idiots can't teach it properly. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway, and that was my experience. I left there anyway, I think before the thing was finalised, and I ended up in a machine shop. That was fun. Yeah, doing a twilight job in a machine shop, 5 to 9. Actually, as soft as it's saying, that 5 to 9 thing, that was about as much as I could cope when it comes to work. 4 hours a night. That'll do. I think that's fine. I can cope with that. Oh, fuck me, yeah. Same times change these days. But, yeah, so I moved from there. Chassis development, now, what was it called? The one that I went to when I left the Lloyds was Schrader Bellows Parker, right? Now that's in Bridgetown, that is. And if you drive up and down Walton Lane, that open space of concrete and tarmac where there's been the roadworks people have been there, that was where it was, and that's where I used to work. Yeah, I was there for a while. CNC lathe operator. Yeah, it was cool. Learned some stuff from there, and all, to be fair. There was a young lad there. He was older than me, but he was young, if you know what I mean. I think he was about late 20s, and I think I'd be 18 maybe. Whatever. He was a fucking seriously smart arse, right? Because he was one of these guys that actually programmed these darn things. All the banter, very much. And he introduced me to the sound systems in cars. I was already into having decent music in the car, like sound systems, speakers and whatever, but none of the amplifiers. It was either a couple of box speakers on the parcel shelf with a graphic equalizer, because back then the amplifiers for cars was like, well, they don't really exist until I met this guy in his Peugeot 205. And he'd got these uprated speakers. There was 4 of them, door speakers, parcel shell speakers, only about this big, like they weren't fucking 12 inches and 15 and 20 odd inches. These was just, I think that was actually triaxial, so it'd be that big, 3 speakers, bass, mid-range tweets and what have you. But he played Jean-Michel's Oxygen, and as he's playing that, we sit in the car, and fuck me, what a sound that was. It was like, what? It was incredible, and it just sparked something in my head. I thought, I've got to have something like this. And he showed me what he got in the back of the boot, and it was he got a 150 watt amplifier, and it was literally, that's as big as it was. It was like, it was dinky, but fuck me, the sound that came out of it was fantastic, absolutely. So then I just went from there, from that bit, and hunted for all sorts of shit for car stereos and what have you. Dripping. What do you like? Oh dear. Yes, it's always been this point when I go to work from day one. There's always been that dead end sort of thing. It's never really been, because obviously I've never had the qualifications. You know what I mean? I didn't leave school with anything, so I ended up having to do all the mundane bullshit. I'm still doing the mundane bullshit, unfortunately, but what else can you do? I mean, Yeah, but like I've said before, even though um, when I left school and I've done that, done this, I've done a various amount of jobs through my time. This is the last thing now that I think, to be honest with you. I don't think there's anything else because here's the rub, right? The job that I do, HGV driving, the driving side is fine. Right? I don't mind that. I prefer to be going off out a bit further, mind you, but I don't mind driving. It's fine. Driving's not a problem. It's the fucking bellends that you meet on the road every day. That's the bit that fucks me off. But if you're a driver yourself, you'll know you just can't avoid them. Unfortunately, you just can't. But let's say I didn't do any driving and decided that that's it. I've had enough. Fuck it. Don't know more. Well, what else could I do? You know what I mean? What other job could I have? There ain't none. It'd either been a warehouse or stacking shelves or some shit because I've got fuck all else. Well, I understand that. I mean, I'm probably heading for that myself, dude. I'll be honest with you because, bye, Paul. He's got a dilemma: EastEnders or me? EastEnders, dude. I mean, most people in this country watches EastEnders. I mean, I don't, because I think it's the biggest, loudest shite that was ever put on the TV in the first place. But don't get me wrong, right? Now, when EastEnders, right, first was, brought to us in 1984, it was interesting. And I think I watched it for the first maybe year or two, and it was all right. I mean, on the when you have the omnibus version on the Sunday, we'd sit there, we'd have our Sunday dinner, we'd watch the omnibus, which would have all the fucking, and it weren't bad. Did I just see Brookside there? Then what the fuck? Oh my life, no way. That's just after. Yeah, you got no choice really, have you? Unfortunately, it's not the healthiest thing, but I'm heading because I don't do anything. I got no fitness in me at all, Brooks. So, calm down there. Oh dear. Fucking EastEnders, Brookside. They're old ones. What's the other one as well? There's another one, isn't there? You had your licence took off you. We will do, because you're a health hazard, dude. Unfortunately. Crossroads, that's another one, yeah. Emmerdale Farm. What's that Australian one now? There's another one, isn't there? Yeah. Can't think what it is. But they're all crap. They should have been fucking. That EastEnders one should have been terminated at least after the third year. Sorry, but it was just, no, not for me. Not for me at all. Absolutely rubbish. I've never been one for soaps, though, to be honest with you. Them everyday things. Brookside, EastEnders, Emmerdale, Crossroads. What's them Australian ones? I can't for the life of me think what the Australian ones were. Home and Away, that was the one, innit? Home and Away. Then there was that rave with fucking Prisoner Cell Block H and all that sort of shit as well, wasn't there? Fucking strap up. I don't know, I just can't do them. I can't do those mundane, absolute crap. I don't know how people can get locked into that rubbish. Without sounding offensive, I mean, them just must be small-minded people. It's as simple as that. I just don't get it. I like to watch things where it's got a storyline behind it. And don't tell me soaps have, because they fucking ain't. They're boring. Something that's intriguing, and yeah, well, interesting, I suppose, if you think. But none of the soaps have. Soaps are crap. Sorry. The only soap that I use is the one I was up in the bathroom when I'm washing my bits. That's all I have. That's it. That's the soap I use. But yeah, I must admit though, I do watch. I watch a lot of YouTube. I do. That's pretty much what I like to watch because I when you're flicking through, I mean, obviously of late it's gone a bit naff. To be fair, it's not really ten as good as it used to be. I've got to admit. Right, so I remember I'd be able to like sit at my computer over there, stick YouTube on, and do some YouTube surfing. You could literally lose a day doing YouTube surfing. It's brilliant. Pick a subject that you want to fucking know about, watch the video, and go, huh, well, I feel informed now. And then scroll down the side, right? And you'll have a lot of corresponding videos to the subject you're looking for, but then all of a sudden, something random will be there that's got fuck all to do with what you look for, and that's your next video to watch. Alright, Jace, what's that? What cars you had over the years? Not many, to be fair. The cars I've had, Mick, was it Mick? Yes. First car I ever driven was for me driving lessons was one of those Nissan Datsun. That was what it was, a Datsun I used to have. It was a Datsun. Then it was changed to the Nissan Sunny. It was the Datsun Sunny. That's pretty much what it was when I took me lessons. And my mum had one of those, the old versions of the Skoda. It looked like an upside down pram. I think it was a 13 out. It might even have been a 13 GL as well. I had one then. But when I passed my test, that was the car I drove. It sounded like a Volkswagen Beetle because the engine was in the back. But oh well, that was fun. I mean, obviously years ago, I've had that sideways around one of our streets. That was cool because I even had somebody with me as well at the time. Right, it wasn't done on purpose, but it just happened, and it turned out okay, and we didn't end up making a fucking stupid tit of ourselves. And then there is another time where I had another couple of people in there, and over a small humpback bridge, we took off, and the back of the car went bang, and it fucking bent all the air cooling fins on the bottom of the engine. That was fun, you know what I mean? I had a black Mini. It was a lovely car, that was. I fucked it up, mind you. I went to visit a girl. Now then, what would it be? I think it'd be, I can't think now. It was either, I think it'd be something like 1990, 91 possibly. I'm trying. It was a long time ago. And I was off to, could be 92, 93. Well, how old would I be? Fuck no. Anyway, it was somewhere in the early 90s, I'd say, just for the argument's sake. And I got this black Mini. And I not had it long. And I was off to go and see this girl, which was up, there, was it now? Was it the one that was at Stourbridge? Might have been. And I made my way to Stourbridge. Don't ask me how, but I did it. But on the way back, my car started to make this horrible grinding noise. And it turned out the oil pump had packed up, and in the gearbox and diff had just went. And it was grinding the metal of the casing away. But we took it back to the garage because I literally had it around about a month and a half, if that. It was real short amount of time, and we argued the toss. We really did. I said, look, at the end of the day, it fucking broke, and it was not supposed to. Got it fixed in the end, but it was never the same after that, to be fair. And then a few months later, I ended up writing it off anyway. Yeah, that wasn't funny. No, it was a bit naff, that was. I broke it. Bye. Uh, yeah. So then I had a. What else did I have after that? I think I had another Mini. This was a proper rotten bag of shit, but it only cost 200 quid. But back then, 200 quid was more. It was more like fucking 2 million quid. Um, and then that just rotted. I got it. I actually got hit by a fucking HGV driver. I did in that. He pulled straight out in front. I had to stamp on the brakes, up the curb, and the back of his bumper on his rigid come around. It dug a groove in my bloody mud guard, me wing, right? And he took off and fucking left me there, the wanker. You know what I mean? So but even back then, there was arsehole drivers on the road, like, you know what I mean? I'm thinking, just you can't win. So that had to get fixed, which we did. I did in the end, like, and that to have me. I think I did something else to it as well. I think I hit the back of somebody. I think as well. I think I do remember that happening. I'm sure I do. Oh, I don't know. Something had happened. It wasn't severe. It was just a bit of a tap. It wasn't anything. It wasn't like destroying the car. You know what I mean? But I had to have that fixed. That's how light the damage was. It was literally pull it back out again and screw some new lights in there, like, you know what I mean. It wasn't like I'd staved the thing in, like, you know what I mean. So after that, uh, I had a Maxi. This was a Maxi 1750 with the 5-speed gearbox. Oh yes, all the fucking mod cons now. I'm telling you. Yeah, the Maxi. It was the biggest, ugliest bag of shit. But I'm not kidding you. It drove like a dream. It was beautiful. You might laugh, honestly. It was the most comfortable car to drive ever. But fuck me, it was horrible. You know what I mean? It was just one of those things where you just walk up to it like this, you're tapping away just to fucking get to it because you don't want to look at it. It's horrible. You get in, you sit in the chair, shut the door, and you open your eyes like, you know, like, oh, look, because it was these chairs look, it was a bit like this, like sitting this fucking lazy boy. He's like fucking son, and you just you sank into it, like, you know what I mean, and off you go, and it'd be like fucking it's brilliant, absolutely was, until me the girlfriend at the time, her uncle had filled it with hydroelastic fluid and put too much in there, and the front wheels are like this. That's what I'm driving. The wheels are screaming the tits off as I'm driving down the road, like, you know what I mean. So I had to have them adjusted. The ambassador. Wasn't that the princess ambassador? Wasn't that one of them? Oh dear. But again, that didn't last long because that rotted. Going to give. Nope, we don't. I don't get my own truck because I'm a day man. So yeah, and then after that, I think I had. What did I have after that? After the Maxi, did I have another Mini? Possibly. And then I've had Mark III Ford Escort. That one of them. Now I like that car. It was a 4-speed. That was. Second gear wasn't brilliant. It was a bit, oh, you know, I mean, a bit of that, like, but it worked. You know, it wasn't like it wasn't there. It did work, so that was all right. Until one fateful morning, I'll say, because it wasn't night, it was about 3:20 in the morning, I think it was. We got a knock on the door because I was living at my sister's at the time, so that would be like 96ish, and I think did my sister answer first? I think my sister answered first. I think she did because I say it was like, is this your car? I said, no, it's my brother's, and I'm like half asleep, like, so I'm climbing out the bed and opening the door, and in me figging Y fronts, like, and I'm looking, what the fuck, you know? Is this your car? So I have a look outside, like, you know, and sure enough, the car is like not where I'd parked it on the Warsaw Road. It was up the road, and it was sort of like up towards the car park area. We lived next to it, but it was about 30 feet up, like, you know what it was. And the was it that far? I don't think it was that far. Actually, it was pushed a bit, but not that far. I don't think. I mean, trying to get my head around the old distance as far as it was. I think it was because I had the handbrake on. I don't put lifting gear, just the handbrake on. So I think he got knocked back about 15 foot. Right, let's just say that by this dude driving a security van, right? And his van was sort of like pivoting on one of those concrete bollards. And according to it, his reasoning for all this was that he'd fell asleep at the wheel. He'd done a 24-hour rotation without sleep, and he was supposed to be, right, now get this, bear in mind he's now like up the Warsaw Road, which is, where would the landmark be? It's sort of like just down from Wheatsheaf, is that right? Says about right, whatever. Anyway, it's quite a way up the road, and he was apparently on his way to a building site which was somewhere in Birmingham, but instead he'd gone into autopilot, in and out of what you could say consciousness, because he was like, and he was on his way home, according to it, and he'd fell asleep at the wheel. He has no recollection whatsoever of actually driving of any part of the Warsaw Road until he was woken up brutally by slamming into my car and writing the fucker off. Yes, my car was writ off. It was completely stuffed. So then I had to get myself another one. Robin Reliant. They are, aren't they? Yeah, I've drove past that place. Oh dear. We used to drive past that when I was working at a place called Seaford Engineering. We used to go up there to collect the phosphor bronze castings for all the battleships that we used to do. Well, anyway, I had to hunt for another one, so I got myself a Mark IV. I think it was a 1600 gear this time. Again, it was another bag of shit. Trust me, wasn't that fucking good. I thought it was the bee's knees, but hey, whatever. I ended up having the I think I took the head off it. I think, did I do that far? I think I did actually, because it was smoking like a bastard, and I took the head off it, reseated the valves, put it all back together again, sort of, and tried to get it re-timed back up again, which was a bit of a hit and miss to start with. At one point I got it firing 180 degrees out of sync, so that was fun, but eventually I managed to get it working, and it was not too bad, and it didn't smoke like a fucking freight train, so it wasn't that bad after all. First time I ever did it, and it was the last time I'd ever do it, because I didn't really fancy doing that again, because that was yes, daunting to say the least. Anyway, that one came to the end when that fucking thing fell apart, and I'd decided that that's it, I've got to get something decent. So that's when I went into the world of loans. Oh, good grief. If you're ever given the opportunity to have a loan, right, give yourself a swift punch in the sack, right? Don't do it. Do not ever have a loan. Doesn't matter how much you want it, doesn't matter how much you fucking desire it, don't have loans, because you will be paying them off for the rest of your fucking life, or at least for another fucking 30 years anyway. I managed to get out of that bollocks, thankfully. I think because what happens is, right, I had this loan for this car. It was a Mark V Escort. It was just under £5,000, and I was paying my payments as you do each year, and I think it was for a 5 year whatever, and I'd done it. You know, get yourself there, but then something else comes along and you extend it, or you have another one and pay the bit off, and so on and so forth, and that's how it tends to, snowballs. um, Credit card as well. I mean, I'll tell you what, credit cards, they ought to be banned and made illegal as far as I'm concerned. Credit cards, they're an absolute fucking nightmare. And as soft as it sounds, I'm only saying this because the debt that I had, realistically, was only £650, believe it or not. But fuck me, did I get stung with that shit. Absolutely. What an absolute bollocks that was, honestly. So, every time I see those adverts, with the Barclays this or fucking Visa that, when it's a credit card, if it's a bank card, it's just a debit card, then that's not a bother. They don't advertise those ones because that's your bank account, you know what I mean? But these credit cards, you see, was it Capital One, fucking retard, pile of shite. I wouldn't fucking recommend any of them at all. They are nothing but debt increases. That's all they are. Fucking debt increases. They're fucking horrible. Explain this to me, right? Why is it, right? If you don't have any debt, right? No loans, nothing like that. Apart from your mortgage, if you've got one, which everybody has anyway, unless you're lucky enough to be able to spoon that kind of money out in one go. But why is it that your credit rating evaporates? Now, when I had the credit card, loans, fucking whatever else I had as well on top of that, my credit rating was, well, hey, he's all right. He's fucking broke. Let's give him some more money to fucking lose, you know what I mean? That's what they tend to do. So I don't really understand the logic in that. Surely, if you have no other obligation and you want to have a loan for whatever, then they would go, well, he ain't paying no more money out. He hasn't got to give it to that lot over there, and he hasn't got to give a bit to that lot over there, or them over there. He's only got to give it to us. So we've got more chances of actually getting our money back. But now you tend to find that if you've got a multitude of loans and credit cards and shit like that, they want you to have more. It's like, go on, go for it. Keep digging your fucking hole deeper, sunshine. Oh, yeah, I don't understand that logic, I don't. So, yeah, fucking absolute shite. Oh, dear. So, when it comes to that kind of subject, when it comes to credit cards or loans or bollocks like that, don't bother. Just don't bother. Save up if you have to. Or bank of mom and dad. Try that one. Right? Because at least you haven't got to pay the ridiculous amounts of interest. You know what I mean? It's a lot easier. Trust me. And it don't last as long. And also, if you do miss a payment, they're not going to be knocking your fucking door going, where's my money? Or sending in bailiffs and coming and grabbing you. Well, you better go and check your credit report then, haven't you? But it does make you wonder, right? Where is the logic in if somebody's in debt to increase that debt? Yeah, it took me a while to learn that shit, mind you, as well. So I'm in the same boat. Well, I was, but not now more. I mean, I've got no fucking money, but at least I don't owe shit out like countless others out there do. Apart from my mortgage and my money I borrowed off my mother, bank of mom and dad. You know what I mean? But yes, I do pay that back. I'm not going to be a shit like, you know. Oh dear. But I had that Ford Escort for it was the Mark V, which cost me just under the £5,000. It was beautiful. 48,000 miles on the clock, gunmetal grey, 5-speed gearbox, 1600. Even though it was listed as a 1400, but it turned out to be a 1600. And I had that for 6 years. It was spotless. Take it for an MOT, not a problem. Perfect. Until some fucking bell end in one of those poxy CV Citroen pieces of wank. I've seen it. I've seen it coming at me. There I am, fucking. I'm on the Walsall Road and I'm waiting for a guy to turn right, and I'm looking in my mirror. I'm thinking, oh, here we go. He's still coming. He's still coming. And what was he doing? Fucking him out with his radio. He was like this. He wasn't doing this. He was doing this. Straight in the fucking back of me. Fucked me amps up. My stereo went and the fucking back of my car caved in. I'm like, you cunt. So of course that was roused off. And I think I had a bike at the time as well. I think I did. Unless I had to get a cheap one just for work for the time being. Waiting for all this crap. R.I.P. headphone users. Or was that a bit loud, was it? Oh dear. But once that had gone, I'd ended up with another bag of crap. And it was all right. I mean, I'd got a silver. I didn't have it for very long now. This one of those silver Mark 5s. It was yeah. And what ended up with that one, I was... I don't really have much luck with cars, trust me. Right. This one I'd bought, it was a silver Escort. And it drove perfectly fine when I had it. Right. But a few weeks in, I noticed as I'm driving, all of a sudden it did wander all over the place. Like, what the shit's going on here? So then I took it to a garage and had a look, and it turned out the reason why it was skating along because the lower ball joints were just shattered. There was literally flopping around inside. I'm like, oh good grief! I know I shouldn't have took it to the place I took it to because it cost me a frigging fortune to put that right. But once it was done, it was fine. It was great until about 6 months later when the winters decided to turn up and the snow came down. And I was on the way to work, and as I turned around the bend and it was a bit slippy, I went straight into a curb and flattened the new one back up again. You know what I mean? So that was that then. So, and of course I managed to bodge it, fix it for the sort of. I had to straighten the steering rack arm. I had to put a new lower arm in it, and which was only held on by one bolt, by the way, because the other ones had disappeared. I don't know what happened to them. I don't want them actually. I did replace them eventually, But because I'd hit the curb with the drive wheel, and it was on the gearbox side, when I carried on driving, it was all the fucking time, and it was annoying because it came straight to the car, and I was like, oh man, I just can't win. So looking for another car, and then I was walking around one of the car places up in Cannock, and I'd seen one of these Ford Cougars, and I'm like, oh, what's this? Because I looked at the front of it. I didn't look at the back. I looked at the front, and then this sales rep was giving me the spiel for, oh no, that's not bad. And I thought, I'm just looking, dude. I can't afford that, as you do. So then obviously the Google monster comes out, and I'm like, what the fuck is this shit like, And it turns out that the Cougar had a 2.5 V6 version. I'm thinking, aye, hey, let's see what we can do with that. And again, I jumped the gun again, because once I have something in my head, unfortunately, I can't get the bastard out. And I bought this Ford Cougar, the V6 one, which was up from Widnes. Runcorn way. I got that, and it was great. I mean, it was alright until I found out how much the fucking parts cost. Holy crap! I ended up having to have two lower arms. That bloody thing, and that cost me just over 300 quid. I'm like, oh, I can't win. The parts were so bloody expensive. But then again, it was an old car, so what do you expect at the end of the day? If it's going to be an old car, parts are going to be more expensive because they're not made, or whatever. That lasted for 6 years until that got scrapped off. And then I bought that the 4x4 then, the me white Explorer. I love that car. Another V6, 4 litre, brilliant, absolutely. And as soft as it sounds, and I mean, as much as it is a bag of crap, and it was literally wearing out, and again too expensive to put right, I would have kept it. I really would have done. This car I got now, though, the Mondeo, it's all right. I've found problems with it so far, a few, but thankfully they're not mechanical problems, as in engine, gearbox, all that sort of crap falling apart. Now, what I've found on the passenger side back door, on the outer seal for the window, there's a fucking 5mm, I'm sure, well, either 5 or 3mm gap, right, between the seal and the window. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. What the fuck? So, of course, all the water and shit is running straight down the window into the car door. At the moment, I've bodged it. I've got some PVC, what was it called again? I think it's called PVC sealing tape, and I've put that across it. So because I mean, obviously there was one day that I come back from my dad's, and it wasn't raining, so the car was dry, so it was pitch black, and I went, that'll do, like, you know, and that's as much as I could do. And then literally through the night, as it went, it just chucked it in the rain. It ain't bloody stopped since, and that was 5 days ago. Big crap, absolutely. But at least when I open the car door now, it's not as misty as it was. You'd have thought, when I got the car, that if that's a problem with it, that the door would have been rotted off. That's what I'd have thought anyway. But it won't. So well, all I can say is that it's obviously spent a lot of time in a garage not being used. But then again, it ain't even reached 40,000 miles on the clock yet. So I mean, obviously that's got to be the reason why. I didn't really think about it. Oh man, thirsty. But I've got to admit though, for the model it is and how old it isn't bad. But I've got to get that done. That door. There's what have I got? There's 2 scenarios here. That's going to be. I'm either going to have to take it to Ford and have them do something with the door to resealed, whether the outer skin might have to be repositioned or what, I don't know, or wait until the summertime comes and maybe try and do something with myself. That's daunting. Scenario number 3, which again, because of the colour, yes, I know, it's a lovely colour, but the problem is, it's a fucking rare colour. Cyan blue. Yeah, so I was thinking maybe if I was lucky enough to find one in a scrapyard, that the back door isn't completely, and have that and replace the back door, but I'd have to strip that door down, and then, yeah, you know what I mean. Those are the choices I've got at the moment. Or leave the black tape on it. I mean, that ain't a bother. I mean, I'm quite happy with it. I ain't looking at it. I'm facing forward, so I don't care. It looks nice when I'm looking. When I walk around, I'm thinking, oh, for fuck's sake, you know, what a bodge. But it does the job. You know what I mean? It does the job. I mean, what else could you do with it? I mean, I don't even know what else you could do with it. But I mean, to fix it properly, I've got to take the inner door skin off. I've got to remove the mechanism, pull the window out. That's if it'll come out. It should do. Yeah, whatever. It's got to come out because to try and what I would call strain the outer skin to bring it in, I've got to sort of I don't know, how can I explain it? There's an internal lip on the inside of the door frame. It's the actual outer skin where the seal sits inside it. You can hook. I would try and pull that towards the inside of the door, but overstrain it so that when I let go, it doesn't retract back to its original place. But because the wind is in the way, I can't push it far enough over. Seal would do that. Yeah, I know. I've thought that myself, but the problem is then you've got to love the window up and down. It just won't work, unfortunately. So, but I want it so it actually does it. Works properly as well. But no, I don't fucking know. It's something that's just gonna have to be left for the time being, and fuck it. That's all. If it wasn't for the fact that I haven't got a garage, it probably wouldn't matter so much. You know what I mean? But I've taken it down the road to have my car washed, and I'm thinking, oh, this is gonna be crap. This is, and all of a sudden you get whoosh, and the fucking water just goes straight down that door. I'm like, oh god damn it, that's just no good. That ain't absolutely. It's gonna knacker it all up. It's gonna knacker the speaker up inside the door. It's gonna rot the inside the door, and it's going to fall apart, and it's going to look a complete eyesore, and eventually the whole car will just go there. But other than that, it's fine, and that's it. That's the history of my cars. Might have bored a few of you because a few of you disappeared, but I can't help that, dude. It's not my fault. Anyway, I think I'm done. I'm here, chill out for a bit. I might go to bed later. Whatever. Oh dear. I'm gonna go. And hi, George. And I'll speak to you a lot. Probably next week or something, unless I decide to do some ice again. I might stick you now on as well later on. I'm still here. You still here, Mickey? I want a bra. I want a bra? What do you want a bra for? I want a bra truck. What's a bra trucker? Want to be a trucker? If you want to be a trucker, dude, you carry on. Each their own. Right, I'm giving. I'll speak to you a lot later. Toodle pip. Ta-da! See you later. Sometimes.